Welcome to another deep dive, and this time we're taking a look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. It's the game that, well, it never seems to leave the top sellers chart for the Switch, does it? I mean, seriously, it feels like everyone and their grandma is out there racing. And judging by the mountain of info you've all sent us, well, you're ready to dive deeper than just those casual laps. You want to know what makes this game tick?
Yeah, what's really interesting is that unlike a lot of games that kind of fade away after they're released, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just seems to keep growing. It really does feel like Nintendo's found the secret sauce to keep people playing for years and years.
Yeah,
And you want to know how they did it.
exactly.
So, yeah, let's break it all down, shall we? Everything from those, those classic courses they spruced up to the, even the little things like how you use items strategically.
For sure, because it can't just be nostalgia, right? I mean, there's got to be more to it than just seeing all those familiar faces and the crazy items. So, um, let's start with the racing itself. What makes this stand out from all the other kart racers out there?
Well, one of the biggest things is how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe manages to be so simple to pick up and play. But at the same time, it's actually a really deep game. You've got these anti-gravity sections where you're basically breaking the laws of physics. You're racing up walls and on ceilings.
Yeah.
But it's not just a visual gimmick. It actually completely changes the way you approach corners and adds a whole new level of strategy to the game. Think about tracks like Mount Wario or Cloud Top Cruise. You have to master those anti-grav sections if you want to shave even a second off your best time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's not just about staying on the track anymore, is it? You're using the whole environment to your advantage. And that's where those features like smart steering and auto accelerate come in, right? They're there to help new players without making things too simple for the veterans.
Exactly. Imagine someone picking up Mario Kart for the very first time. Those features let them join in the fun and, it keeps them from getting frustrated right away. But there's definitely a skill ceiling. Experienced players, they quickly move on from those features. Because if you really want to be good at this game, especially at those higher speeds and on the more complex tracks, you need that fine-tuned control that those features kind of take away.
Right. Okay. I can already see how that plays into the longevity of this game. It's welcoming to new players, but it also rewards those who want to put the time in and really master it. And speaking of options, the character roster in this game is huge. You've got everyone from Mario and Luigi, of course, to the Inklings from Splatoon and even Link from the Zelda games. So what's the strategy behind having such a diverse lineup?
I think it's a smart way to tap into Nintendo's whole universe of characters.
Yep.
It makes sure there's someone for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's not just about how they look.
Oh.
Believe it or not, each character actually has slightly different weight.
Oh, really?
And that affects how the carts handle.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so you might find that a lighter character, like Baby Mario, is more agile, while a heavier character, like Donkey Kong, is going to be a bit more stable at those top speeds.
Okay, so there's already a layer of strategy that I hadn't even thought about. It's not just picking your favorite, You actually have to think about how each character fits your racing style. And then on top of that, you've got all the kart customization. I mean, you've got different vehicles, tires, gliders. I'm assuming this isn't just cosmetic.
Nope, not at all. This is where those physics we were talking about earlier come into play.
Oh, okay.
You can actually build a kart that focuses on acceleration, or one that's built for top speed, or something in between.
Yeah.
Like you might choose slick tires because they're faster on paved tracks,
Yeah.
but then you'll lose some grip on the off-road sections.
Right.
So yeah, it's actually a surprisingly deep system,
Yeah.
and it encourages you to experiment and really understand how each course is different.
Wow, I'm starting to see why some players get so deep into the technical side of this game. Now let's talk about the tracks. Because with 48 courses in the base game alone, that's more than most racing games offer, even with DLC. So what stands out to you about the selection of tracks here?
I think it's a really great mix of nostalgia and innovation. You've got those classic courses that everyone loves, like Mumo Meadows and Toad's Turnpike, but they've been remastered for the Switch.
Yeah.
They look amazing, and in some cases, they've even been tweaked to add in the anti-gravity mechanic.
Yeah.
And then you've got brand new tracks like Thwomp Ruins and Super Bell Subway. They feel fresh and new, but they still feel totally Mario Kart, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. I love that they've taken those old tracks and given them a new lease on life. But with so many courses, how do they make sure there's something for everyone in terms of skill level?
Well, that's where the different speed classes come in.
Yeah.
You can start off at 50cc if you just want to take a relaxing cruise. Bump it up to 100cc for the classic Mario Kart feel. Or jump straight into the craziness of 150cc and 200cc, where you need lightning-fast reflexes and pinpoint precision to have any chance of winning.
Right.
It's like having several games in one,
Oh, yeah.
and the challenge scales with your skill level.
That's really smart. So they've really thought about how to keep players engaged for a long time and make sure they don't hit a wall in terms of difficulty.
Okay.
All of this is great if you're playing solo, but you can't talk about Mario Kart without talking about the multiplayer. I mean, this game is practically synonymous with fun with friends.
Right.
So what makes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's approach to multiplayer so special?
I think it's just the sheer variety and how easy they've made it to connect with your friends and family.
Okay.
You can race locally with up to 8 players on a single Switch, or you can connect wirelessly with multiple Switches for local play. Online races let you compete with up to 12 players from around the world. And here's something really cool. You can even have 2 players online from the same Switch.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they've clearly thought of every scenario to make this the ultimate party game.
Yeah, that's really smart. So you're not limited by how many consoles or controllers you have. And speaking of parties, we can't forget about battle mode.
Oh yeah.
This isn't just some tacked on extra mode. They've really gone all out to make it a standalone experience. So tell me what grabbed your attention about this mode.
Well, what impressed me most about battle mode is how they took this classic idea and turned it into something really unique. It's not just the standard balloon battle anymore. You actually have 5 different modes to choose from, and they each have their own objectives and ways to think about strategy.
Okay, 5 modes, huh? That's a lot of variety for what some people might consider a side feature. So what kind of modes are we talking about here?
So take Renegade Roundup, for example. It's basically capture the flag, but with a Mario Kart twist. One team are the Renegades, and they need to be caught in these piranha plants. While the other team is driving around trying to catch them, you need to work together, communicate, and know when to attack and when to defend.
So it's not just about who can drive the fastest or grab the most items. You actually have to coordinate with your teammates.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the arenas are designed specifically for these battle modes. So instead of racing circuits, you have these battlefields like Battle Stadium and Sweet Sweet Kingdom. They've got obstacles, hiding spots, and wide open areas where you can maneuver strategically. They even brought back Urchin Underpass from Splatoon.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. It really feels like they put a lot of effort into giving battle mode its own identity. It's not just a rehash of the racing gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. And there's enough variety to make sure there's something for everyone. If you're looking for pure chaos, you got to try Bob-omb Blast. Everyone gets unlimited Bob-ombs, and the goal is to get the most KOs. It's pure fun, especially when you've got a full lobby.
Oh, I can only imagine the mayhem. So all of this content is great, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been out for a while now. So how do they keep things fresh for players who have already put hundreds of hours into the game?
Their secret weapon is the Booster Course Pass.
Okay.
It's a ton of DLC, and it basically doubles the number of tracks to a whopping 96.
Wait, 96? Are you serious?
Right.
So are these all brand new tracks or what?
Well, this is where the nostalgia really kicks in. They're remastering classic courses from the entire Mario Kart series. I'm talking everything from the Super Nintendo all the way to the mobile games like Mario Kart Tour.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you get to revisit those iconic tracks, but with updated visuals. And I'm guessing they've also made some clever design changes to take advantage of the new mechanics.
You got it. Take Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii, for example. It's back with all of its charm, but they've added some subtle changes. Like they've added some anti-gravity sections, so it feels fresh, even if you've played it 1,000 times before.
I love that. It's the perfect blend of old and new. It works for longtime fans and newcomers alike. But with so many new tracks being added through DLC, doesn't that get a bit overwhelming for players?
Well, they've been really smart about it. They've structured the Booster Course Pass into waves, so they release a handful of new tracks every few months. This keeps players engaged and gives them something to look forward to, and it prevents content fatigue.
Right.
Plus, each wave also includes a few returning characters and Mii racing suits, so you have even more customization options.
So it's like a continuous stream of new content that keeps the game feeling fresh and exciting even years after it was released. That's a really smart strategy.
Yeah, it's been incredibly successful. Yeah. The Booster Course Pass has definitely breathed new life into the game. It's attracted veteran players and newcomers who want to experience those classic tracks for the first time.
That makes sense. Okay, let's talk about something that's always been a hot topic when it comes to Mario Kart. The items.
Yeah.
Some people love them, some people hate them, but you can't deny that they add a layer of chaos to the races. What are your thoughts on the items and how they affect the overall gameplay?
Well, I think the items are what give Mario Kart that unique blend of skill and luck. Yeah, it can be frustrating when you're in first place and you get hit by a blue shell.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
But that unpredictability is also part of the fun.
Right.
He keeps everyone on their toes and makes sure that no race is ever truly over until you cross the finish line. And it adds a level of excitement that you just don't get in more serious racing games.
So it's that element of surprise, that potential for a comeback that keeps things interesting, even for players who aren't the most skilled drivers.
Exactly.
Oui.
And there's actually a strategic element to item usage as well. Knowing when to use a mushroom for a speed boost, when to hold onto a red shell for defense, or when to drop a banana peel strategically. Those things can make a huge difference.
Right. It's not just about randomly firing off whatever you get. There's actually a layer of tactical thinking involved.
Yeah.
And with the dual item system, you have even more decisions to make, right?
Exactly. Do you use your first item right away, or do you save it hoping to get a better combo later?
Yeah.
Do you use an item defensively or offensively? These are all choices that add a depth of strategy that might surprise casual players.
It sounds like they've found a good balance. They've kept things accessible for people who just want to have fun, but they've also added a layer of depth for players who want to really master the intricacies of item management.
Exactly.
And the items themselves are so perfectly themed around the Mario universe.
Right.
You've got banana peels, Koopa shells, mushrooms, stars.
Yeah.
They're instantly recognizable, and they add a layer of charm to the game. They make even the most frustrating moments feel lighthearted and fun.
For sure.
Okay. We've talked a lot about the fun, chaotic side of the game, but let's get a bit more technical for a minute. For those who want to take their Mario Kart skills to the next level, what are some of the more advanced techniques or strategies they should be aware of?
Well, one technique that separates the casual players from the pros is drafting. By staying close behind another racer, you can slipstream and get a temporary speed boost. This is especially effective on straightaways, and it can help you overtake opponents or close the gap.
Interesting. So it's like using aerodynamics to your advantage. What about drifting? I know that's a key part of Mario Kart, but is there a strategy to it beyond just looking cool?
Drifting is super important for maintaining speed through corners and building up those mini turbo boosts. If you can master the timing and technique of drifting, you can shave seconds off your lap times, and that'll give you a big edge over your opponents.
Okay, so there's definitely a skill to it. Are there any other hidden mechanics or tricks that players should know about?
One that often gets overlooked is the starting boost. If you press the accelerate button at the exact moment the tyranny appears in the countdown, you can get a rocket start off the line.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
Yeah, it's a small advantage, but it can make a big difference, especially in close races.
That's amazing. It's incredible how much depth there is to this game once you start digging beneath the surface. It's not just about holding down the accelerator and hoping for the best.
Exactly. There's a real skill to mastering the nuances of kart customization, item management, and driving techniques. And that's part of what makes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe so replayable. You can always try to improve to shave a few milliseconds off your best time to learn new tricks and strategies.
It's a game that rewards both casual fun and dedicated mastery. And with all the constant updates, new content, and the thriving online community, there's always something new to discover and conquer.
Yeah, and speaking of the online community, that's another thing that contributes to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's long-term success. It's a game that connects people, whether you're racing with friends on the couch or competing against players from all over the world.
Yeah, let's talk a bit more about that online experience. What makes it stand out from other online multiplayer games?
Well, one thing that strikes me is how welcoming it feels. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. There are some hardcore players who are incredibly skilled and competitive, but there's also a sense of camaraderie, a shared enjoyment that you feel throughout the community. You're just as likely to find yourself racing against newcomers as you are against veterans, and everyone seems to be having a good time.
So it's not just about winning at all costs. There's a genuine sense of fun and community.
Absolutely. And Nintendo does a great job of fostering that through online tournaments and special events.
Yeah.
These events often introduce unique rules or challenges, so they shake things up and keep the online experience fresh and engaging.
It sounds like they've created an online ecosystem that's both competitive and inclusive. It caters to a wide range of players. That's not easy to do.
No, it's not. And it's a testament to the enduring power of Mario Kart. It's a game that transcends generations and brings people together.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the racing, the characters, the items, the tracks, the battle mode, the booster course pass, the online experience, and even some advanced techniques and strategies. But there's one question I still have. With so much to offer, so many ways to play, What is it about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that keeps people coming back for more? Is it just pure fun, or is there something deeper at play?
I mean, it's definitely fun, but I think it goes beyond that. I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe taps into something primal, something we all crave. That sense of mastery, that feeling of accomplishment.
So it's not just about crossing the finish line first.
It's about that perfectly executed drift boost or that strategically timed item. That moment when everything just clicks and you shave a few milliseconds off your best lap time. It's those small victories, those moments of skill and precision that make us want to improve, to push our limits to become better racers.
And that feeling of progression, constantly learning and getting better at the game, that's going to be incredibly rewarding.
It is. And it's something that appeals to players of all skill levels.
Yeah.
Whether you're a casual player who just wants to beat their own best time or a hardcore racer competing for a spot on the global leaderboards, there's always something to strive for in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, it's that perfect balance of challenge and reward that keeps people coming back for more. And let's be honest, there's also a certain satisfaction in outsmarting your opponents. Predicting their moves, landing that perfectly placed green shell.
Right.
It feels good.
There's a strategic element to Mario Kart that often gets overlooked. It's not just about reflexes and reaction time. It's about reading the race, anticipating your opponent's actions, and making those split-second decisions that can win you the race.
Absolutely. And with the dual item system, that strategy becomes even more complex. You're always weighing your options, deciding whether to use an item right away or hold on to it.
Yeah, you have to think about whether to play offensively or defensively. It really adds another layer.
It's like a game of chess disguised as a go-kart race.
Exactly.
And that depth of strategy just adds so much replayability. You can race the same track 100 times and still discover new things, new approaches, new ways to beat your opponents.
It's true.
I'm also realizing that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is really good at creating moments. Whether it's that last-second comeback fueled by a lucky star, or that epic battle for first place, or even just those hilarious moments when you accidentally take out your friend with a stray banana peel. It's those shared experiences that make this game so special.
Yeah, it's a game that creates memories, brings people together through laughter, competition, and just a shared love of fun. And in a world that often feels increasingly divided, I think that's a really powerful thing.
I couldn't agree more. It's a game that goes beyond age, language, and skill level. It's a universal language of fun, competition, and camaraderie.
Well said.
Well, I think we've done a pretty thorough job of unpacking everything Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has to offer, from the racing mechanics to those strategic nuances, from the awesome online community to the simple joy of drifting around a corner and blasting your friend with a red shell. It's a game that truly has something for everyone.
Yeah, we talked about how accessible it is for new players, how much depth there is for those who are looking for a challenge, and that constant stream of new content that keeps the experience fresh and exciting. We explored all those strategic elements like cart customization, item management, and learning the tracks. And we even talked about the thriving online community that adds a whole other layer of fun and competition.
But as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one thought. Think about what kind of Mario Kart player you are. Do you embrace the chaos and just unleash a barrage of items? Are you a strategic mastermind always planning your next move? Or do you just love drifting through those colorful courses, feeling the wind in your hair and a smile on your face?
There's no right or wrong answer. The great thing about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is that it lets you create your own experience, your own moments. You can forge your own path to victory.
So what are you waiting for? Grab your controller, pick your favorite kart, and get ready to experience the magic of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Who knows, maybe we'll even see you on the track sometime.
See you at the finish line.